YouTube, good morning, and we are going to practice some movement to get us all set up for this Thursday morning, finding some space where we can comfortably move. I'm hoping you can hear me okay on this mic because apparently my other microphone isn't working. It might look a bit odd just there, but hopefully it's not blocking your view so you can see what I'm doing. Just give me a thumbs up on Zoom if you can still hear me okay there. Yeah, that's good. Right, let's start off with we're going just slightly wider than hip width apart, just balance for a moment. And then we're going to come up onto raising the bubbling spring. So if I just show you from the side, you keep watching from the front. I'll do it this way so you can hear me in that microphone. So you're just shifting your weight forwards and just raising up onto the ball of the foot. If you've got any issues with your ankles or if you've got any tightness in the Achilles, just be really careful on this. If you've got pain, just do a weight shift forwards and maybe a little raise, just putting a little bit more weight on the ball of the foot. Raising, but if you come up to balance, this is really good because you'll realize if you lean backwards, oh, it doesn't work. And if you lean forwards, you fall forward. So it's a really good balance exercise. And this works when you are walking and when you are running. It just helps with that balance and that movement forwards of the center of gravity and the spine moving with you forwards. And a really nice visualization to use is lifting tall. So keeping that strong back. So it's almost like you're just being gently lifted by a string from the crown, keeping the shoulders relaxed. This ties in with all of the work that we're doing when we're thinking about being strong in certain parts of the body where we need to be strong, but then also where we can soften and relax. We don't need here any tension in the shoulders. In fact, that just put me off balance. We don't need any tension in the hands or the wrists. But we need strength through the back of the body. And find that comfortable rhythm. And breathing easy. Some mornings this will work really easily. Other mornings you'll be like, I'm all over the place. And really pay attention to that point on the ball of the foot. Just behind the big toe, just slightly in towards or out towards the little toes. A wobble then, pointing to it. Let's do a couple more. Legs are straight but not locked in the knee. Good. And then take a rest. And give the legs a little bit of a shake out. Let's go now to shoulder width apart with the feet and legs. A little bit of bend in the knees and then just shifting the pelvis side to side. So shifting the weight but keeping the shoulders on top of the pelvis. So just take that movement that way. This leg goes straight. This knee just glides in line with the ankle. So just a little bit, keep quite lowish, and then you just swap sides. So make sure when you're doing this that you're not doing hip side to side. It's very easy just to go, I'll just move my hip, and then your shoulders aren't over the hips. We want the shoulders over the hips. Just that little bit of bend in the knee. Again, if you've got any issues with knees or ankles or anything hurts when we're doing this, you just stop. You know by now it's not about pushing or forcing anything. And have an awareness that you're driving from the foot there, and then you're driving from the foot there. You're pushing yourself side to side from that ball of the foot, from the bubbling spring. But you're keeping the heel on the ground. The foot is completely on the ground. So you're just shifting side to side. Keep the shoulders over the hips. Shoulders are parallel to the ground. pelvis is parallel to the ground. There's no tilting side to side. Parallel to the ground. Spine is strong through the upper body. And now, if you're comfortable with that movement, just bringing, knocking. So maybe a little bit more drive side to side, and then you're just rotating. I got a nice little crack through my knee then, in a good way. Breathing easy, keeping tall through the spine, Just gentle rotation around the spine. Breathing easy. Shoulders relaxed. Soft elbows, so just letting the elbows bend. And I've just realised I didn't bring my phone in, so I can't see what time it is. Keep going. I have no clue what time it is. And then just gradually slowing it down. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. And then just slowly walking your feet together as well, so you come to balance. And then just give your legs a shake out. And we'll go into spinal cord breathing. So we go shoulder width apart now on the legs. Little bit of a hinge back, so keeping bending the knees. When we're doing this extension, extend the back of the neck. So we're not going to look up here. We're going to extend the back of the neck and just keep the visual forwards there. So it gives you that nice length here through the back of the neck. We still get that slight ducktail there with the lower body, the pelvis, and then as we come in, we tuck the pelvis underneath. We curl up into a little ball there, we tuck the chin. So let's do a few of these. Extend and expand and breathe in. And then tuck the pelvis, breathe out. And remembering why we're doing this movement. We're doing this movement to get the spine energized, to get some movement through every single vertebra of the spine. Spine health is so important. So we're often focusing on hips and knees and ankles issues and things like that, but the arms and the legs are all attached through the spine, through the central nervous system. So keep that spine strong and healthy and flexible. Keep you going. And breath in and breath out. Now keep doing that while I run and get my phone so I know what time it is. Keep spinal cord breathing. I do have it, it's there. If I knew where my phone was, I'd be all right. And now I can see what time it is. That's good. So a couple more. And then take a rest. Picking cherries. So bringing the arms up and then just reaching up. So you imagine there's a tree up there and you're just gently picking a cherry off their tree. And then there's one on that side. And the idea here is that we're stretching here out the rib cage and we get that little lateral, so that side to side movement of the spine. Just gently again, not forcing. If you can breathe easy, we're not pushing and we're not forcing. If you're holding the breath and straining with the breath, you're going too hard. Remember, if we force the body too far, it'll just tighten up. So we're just gently easing out. See if you can feel that stretch. Almost like individual ribs moving. Lower back as well, you might feel the muscles in the lower back just lengthening out a little bit. Let's do a couple more. And then slowly down. Bit of dog wags the tail goes nicely with that as well. So just shifting the hips and then letting that upper body ripple. Again, the pelvis is just square onto the ground, so you're strong and stable through the lower body. The upper body is balanced on the pelvis. So imagine like the pelvis is like a board and you had like a model of the spine on top of that board, and it would just wave as you keep that level. So I'm not doing this, I'm not tipping my hips side to side. I'm shifting and then the spine is just following that. And you can do it nice and slowly, or you can go a little bit quicker if you want to go a little bit quicker. And just letting the head follow at the top of the spine, remembering the neck is part of the spine. And breathing easy. Good, and slowing it down, slowing it down. Let's do a bit of lower body. So let's work on the hips. So if you're comfortable balancing, just swinging that opposite leg, but make sure you're stable and make sure you're comfortable balanced first, and then swing that opposite leg across. Balance, stabilize, swing. If you need to hold on to anything, then do that, because this is not a balance exercise as such, it's a hip loosener exercise. But you can combine the two if you're comfortable balancing. Swinging, freeing up. That swing leg has got to be nice and free. Nice and free on that swing leg. Couple more. And then let's have a shake out. Big hip circles, so taking your feet about shoulder width apart. And keeping the knees soft but straight. Now we can drop the hip to the side and drop the hips to the back, drop the hip to that side, bring the hips forward. So big hip circles. Again, within your own comfortable range, not pushing beyond or making anything to feel uncomfortable. Going in one direction to start with. Spine stays long. And then changing direction. And taking a rest. Then when you're ready, just doing some nice shaking. So shaking however feels good for you this morning. You might want a gentle shake, or you might want a little bit more of a vigorous shake. You could just be tapping the heels into the ground. If that feels good, getting some vibration through the body, through the bones, feeling that going up into the shoulders, into the head, using the wrists. And perhaps you feel like you want to take a slightly fuller breath in and breath out. So use it as a cleansing and clearing and letting go, clearing out the cobwebs. A little bit more, and then slowing it down, going half speed. And then taking a stop, standing, opening up the shoulders a little. Feeling the tingling sensations. Good. Okay, we've warmed up now. Hopefully everybody's nice and warm. Let's do a little bit more balance and then strength. So we'll do our comfortable balance exercise. So taking your feet about hip width apart. Let's just get the balance going first. I'll mirror you. We're going to shift to the left. Just peel the heel. So you've got the majority of weight down the left, and you've just got the ball of the foot on the right foot on the ground there. And then shifting sides. Stabilize first, so you're balanced on the right. Peel the heel. So you're really confident that you've got that right side of the body strong. And then shift to the left, peel the heel. Shift to the right, peel the heel. And just do that a few times. And see if you can get really strong down that one side of the body. And then if you're feeling comfortable and confident in that, as you peel the heel, we'll pick up the same knee and elbow. And then you're going to step down, stabilize, pick up the knee and elbow. So I'm connecting knee, that's not a knee, that's an elbow. I'm connecting elbow to knee. And then I'm coming back down, and it's like a really slow motion march, but you're using the same arm, same leg lifting. Balance. And as long as it's safe, as long as you feel safe, a little bit of wobble is good, because a little bit of wobble is your brain learning. But make sure you're safe and that you're not going to fall over. If this is a real challenge, just keep doing that, peeling the heel and just using that trail leg to just keep you balanced there. So I'm literally just tapping my toe on the ground, tapping the ball of the foot on the ground, if that is a challenge. But if it's comfortable, and even if you have a little bit of a wobble, but making sure ultimately that you're safe as you're doing this. And that idea, like we were doing that balance at the very beginning on raising the bubbling spring, keep lifting tall, because it's really important about where the position of your spine and your upper body is. If you're leaning forwards or leaning back, this is going to be more of a challenge. So you want everything nice and tall and strong through that support side. If this is feeling really comfortable for you, you can explore getting a little bit lower and then slowly coming up to standing. That straight leg, that support leg is nice and straight. You can reach out a little bit more, get a little bit lower, or just stick with that normal step side to side. Can you reach a little bit more, get a little bit lower, come up, reach a little bit more, lower. Oh, just on that side I managed. Just stay with this if this feels comfortable. Couple more. Good, and then take a rest. Shake out a little bit. Great, everybody on Zoom looks good. Nobody's fallen over, which is excellent, which we don't want any of that. Let's do a few tigers. So tigers, taking your feet about shoulder width apart. Hips gliding back, keeping that spine long. So keep that idea of chest facing forwards, sternum facing forwards. And just go as deep or as low as again is comfortable for you. So even if you get here, that's better than forcing anything. Keep that idea of, as I say, the sternum facing forwards. So what I'm not doing, which is what is commonly tends to happen, is you get there and you go, well, I'll just tilt forwards and come down. Lower your hips, so the hips are lowering down. And then you're coming back up. And even, as I say, even if it's just to here, that's getting some movement. That's better than doing nothing. Remembering that everything is guided by the breath. So if you're struggling with your breathing, you're doing too much. Good, nice, slow, steady movement. Let's do a couple more. And then taking a rest. Good, getting the blood flowing. The squat, the tiger, is one of the best exercises because it just uses every single muscle in the body. It really requires oxygen being drawn from the blood into the tissues. So it's a really good exercise just to do every day. Just do a few of those tigers. Now we're going to do that sort of like that walking split tiger, if you like. So I'm going to mirror you. You just take a step slightly to the left there. So I'm just slightly wider out in stance and I've stepped out to the left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my right hand and just line it up with my sternum here. That's a nice way of making sure that you don't just lean forwards. And then I'm going to shift majority of weight over to my left foot. And then when you're there, I'm just going to take that left hip back. That left knee glides over the toe, stays over the ankle. I've got the majority of weight through this left side. Very subtle weight shift forwards and then come up to standing. And then shift the weight back, step back, and then repeat on the other side. So do it really slowly. Step forwards with that right foot. Bring that left palm so your sternum align with the sternum. Shift the weight forwards on the right side, and then you fold that hip back. You've got the majority of weight now down this right side. That knee glides over the ankle. You can go as low as you need to. Very subtle shift the spine forwards so that weight is coming forwards as you step up. And then step back. Now if you've got space, you can do this walking. You can literally do step, 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 but I'm just stepping back here. Repeat on the other side. Step forward, shift the weight, Fold the hip. Shift and come up to standing. Step back. Step forward, shift the weight. Fold the hip. Shift forward, come up to standing. See if you can get into a little bit of a rhythm. And if you've got space, or if you're doing this on your own, I'll come walking forward so you can see if I'm doing this walking forwards. I'm not going to be able to do many, but you can see all I'm doing is then stepping forward, shifting the weight, coming down, coming back up. But if you haven't got the space, you can just do that step back. And the step back is quite nice because you get like that little rocking motion. There, that nice little rocking motion. Everything's facing forwards, everything's coming down that center line. Again, this is great preparation for walking, running, and you'll notice one side you might think, oh yeah, I'm really strong. Everything just shifts and moves easily on this one side. The other side might be a little bit more clunky. Or maybe you're perfect and everything's exactly the same. Not usually the case. Let's do a couple more. And then take a rest. Good. That went quick actually. Let's do a couple of pulling down the heavens just to conclude your morning practice. Feels good. And then interlocking the thumbs, resting on your lower abdomens. Just a moment in bamboo in the wind, just to give your body that chance to unwind. Closing your eyes. Letting the body rock and sway. It's good that the body just rocks and sways and spirals a little bit. And then taking a slightly fuller breath in, giving yourself a little brush down, opening your eyes, and hopefully all set up for your day ahead. Brilliant. Thanks for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend. That's gone quick this week already. I'll be back on Tuesday next week with focus on the breathwork. On Thursday, I'm going to be away in Costa Brava, so it's going to be another classic class. So it won't be on Zoom next Thursday. It will be on Facebook and YouTube though. So until next Tuesday, have a good weekend, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Thanks, Bye. And Kev, we need to go running. Let me know when